Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to Planet Epicosity. That's right, it's the part of the show where we take an inordinately long time to get through just one replay. And I know there are plenty of you out there who have a pretty serious Seton's clutch fetish. And so for the next hour plus, you can consider me your self-styled Sopcom-related rent boy who's going to fulfill all your needs. That's just so wrong on so many different levels. It conjures up a picture of a large effete ACU handing out favours, but that's a story for another day. Let's get back to Sopcom. Like I say, it's going to be Seton's clutch. The players are ready, you guys are ready, I'm ready, so let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. We're all pretty familiar with Seton's clutch. As usual, we'll call this Team 1 up here at the top right, and this Team 2 down here at the bottom left. Going first, rearguard air position for Team 1 up here at the top. It's none other than Mize, sporting this season's very fashionable Air Aeon. And he's going to be doing all that under the guise of Mellow Yellow. Opening first land, second air. To his south, secondly for Team 1 down here, it's M&B, wisely choosing the brave, noble and handsome UEF in Halliborange Orange, opening first land. To the middle with you, it's Flipperpaws up front for Team 1, already on the move with his ACU. He's gone Seraphim in Baby Blue, opening first land. And last but not least for Team 1 up here at the top, it's New Player. I'm sure he's not. Certainly his bracketing, he's not an average Joe, so he's being harsh or ironic. Can't work out which one it is. Anyway, he's going Seraphim in Lurid Green, opening first land. And then down here for Team 2, rearguard air position in Regal Purple, also sporting this season's very fashionable Air Aeon, opening first land. And then second air, it's Ember 711. We're going to be calling him Ember for the purposes of this cast. Secondly, for Team 2 over here at the Cliffs, it's Galactic Fear. And he's in Lime Green, going Seraphim, opening first land. To the middle with you for Team 2, already well on the move, it's Andy Rue, many people's favourite Antipodean, sporting the season's very unfashionable Cybrin in Pontiff White, opening first land, and just going land all day, really, as you'd expect, going up front. And last but not least, also going Cybrin down here at the beach. Good morning, Dave. It's the Howl 9000. How unconscionably terrifying that is. And he's opened first land, gone second air. So those are the players, those are the teams, that's how they match up. And the two have met up nicely in the middle just at the time that we complete our little introductions. Now, of course, Andy Rue have the slight disadvantage on the ground. Cybrin versus Seraphim. He's giving up 1500 HP base hit points to that Seraphim ACU, but he's not going to be too concerned about it right away. The most important thing, of course, is to grab as much of the reclaim as you can. Nice couple of kills there from Flipper, pick up a couple of engineers, but I think an engineer or two have gone down here from Andy Rue's little push. He's got 3 Mantis and a Mole plowing on in towards Flipperpaws' base. Not going to be able to make any penetration there, though. A couple of Thams turn up just at the right time, pick off the Mole, and Andy Rue's going to have to rethink his strategy there for the moment. Let's take a look at how they're getting on. 7,500 hit points and falling for Andy Rue, just dipping into the yellow there against the 9,600 for Flipper. Let's take a look at who's banked more mass, though. That is the really crucial part of the opening for the front players, of course. 8,600 for Andy Rue. And Flipperpaws, 4,700 going down 4,800, so significantly better there by Andy Rue, and a lot better generally for Team 2. That will have filled up their coffers nicely. Andy Rue still trying to get the run by up here at the top. Thams, I think, have done a pretty good job on closing them down. Those Mantis will be taken out of commission without any more casualties inflicted on Flipper, so nice job there. Andy Rue forced to back up into the water. Flipper going to go ahead and shove an upgrade on his comm. Now, he's used up his initial mass. That obviously went pretty darn quickly, that first little step, but now he's bottlenecking pretty hard somewhere. I'm going to guess it's probably on mass. Indeed it is. So he has used up his reserves now, and there's no great threat from the air, at least not for the moment. We have got drops coming in from M and B. Nice work here, and this isn't actually offensive units, this is build capacity, so we could get a little bit of a proxy build going on down here next to Andy Rue's base. It looks like Galactic Fear's making his play for the side island, nice and quick, inside 6 minutes. That's what we like to see. See, that would have been the normal route for M&B to go straight after it, after his side island, but instead he's using those extra engineers to get some work on down here and straight in with the T1 PD. So this could cause potentially problems for Andy Rue, who's now also under bomber attack. M&B going after Andy Rue's base in a big way here inside the first 10 minutes. But he needs to get a move on. Doesn't want to lose out to the side island from HAL 9000, who's already got a couple of units of build capacity and some offensive units on board. In fact, that's all offensive units, I think. Or is there one engineer in there? There is one engineer on board, so he's all right. He can start a base build. He might have assumed already that M&B would be on the way, and so therefore went offensive straight out the gate. But luckily he's got a nice mix of units on board there. Andy Rue back on the causeway, taking some fire now from Whipper Pause's Thams. We can bump that up to normal speed, I think, without losing out on any important plays. He needs to be careful. He's going to drop down into the red any moment. More reinforcements coming in for Whipper, who's still on an upgrade up here. Hasn't finished that as yet. Indeed, Andy Rue down into the red now, just 2,000 hit points and falling. Gonna have to be careful here. Wants to back up into the water ASAP, and there he goes. So he's been shoved off the causeway, and now he's got base incursion going on from HAL. He went straight for early T2. You can see that HQ now getting peppered with T1 PD fire. We have got some bombers coming in from HAL, doing a nice job of killing off those engineers. There's still one left. He's going to want to pacify that as quickly as possible. But M&B immediately going after some of the wreckage as well with that engineer. Accepts that this isn't going to be any kind of longevity around this base, but he just wants to finish it off. That T2 HQ down to 2,000 hit points and falling. Andy Rue having a tough time of it here inside the first 10 minutes. M&B for the moment seems to have definitively lost out on this side island, but of course only one unit of build capacity was transported over here on that skyhook, so HAL 9000 taking a long old time to complete that first land factory on that side island. However, good work here from M&B. Looks like Andy Rue has lost that T2 HQ and is now losing forward build capacity up front as well from Whipper, and he control Ks all of his stuff and says, I'm gonna go get some scotch, I'll be back later. That's Andy Rue all over. Unbelievable. But in the meantime, moving his badly crippled ACU back over to friendly territory. Waypoint set to get him in that pond, essentially confirming he is out of this game. Great double team work though from M&B and Whipper. Whipper pushing hard and fast up front, using the extra hit point advantage on the comm there. But he's taking a little bit of fire this time from Galactic Fear. You said Galactic War there, but Bulthus, T2 Seraphim gunships on the case. They're not going to be getting anywhere near Whipper Pause's critical levels of HP, but they are going to force him off the causeway and into the water. A little bit of an interceptor fracas overhead, meanwhile, between New Player and Galactic Fear. A few bombers out for Galactic Fear as well, so if he is successful in this air fight, he's going to be able to finish off all of Whipper's T1 land that he's got going over here. We've got Vulthus, we've got bombers, we've even got Nothas, T2 fighter bombers going on. So it looks like it's time for Mize to get involved. He's sending a few inties south towards the middle. M&B shoving a few more inties into the fight as well. Definitely the main threat for that team at the moment. But looky what's gone over here. Nice work at the side island. M&B has shoved HAL 9000 off this side island, and it's got a lot of build capacity on the ground, immediately getting that land factory in play. So nice recovery there. M&B playing a blinder here in the first 10 minutes. HAL 9000 still on the long walk back home. Whipper Paws unable to get to safe territory, and we've actually got T2 torpedo bombers on the case as well, so this is kind of tricky now for Fwipper. He's very isolated. His team is behind on the air game. We've got a few inties coming in from Mize and M&B and new player, but it's not enough currently to keep up with the spam coming out from Galactic Fear, who's gone air in a massive way. Fwipper Paws needs to get his ACU's head back in the water there. He's taking unnecessary gunship fire, but of course periodically taking torpedo fire as well. This is one of those horrible situations. I can't believe he might actually be under threat here. Team 1 really need to pull their finger out and get control of the air game, or they will lose their front player, and all of the hard work done by Fwipper and M&B in the first 10 minutes will be undone by Team 1 losing that front player down to 1,200 hit points. Fwipper making a play back for the causeway to get away from the torpedoes, but of course opening himself up now to the Vultu gunships and the Nothers and T1 bombers. I think he's going to go down, and indeed he does. So 11 minutes gone. Fwipper Paws ejected from the game, and Team 1 controversially are the first to lose a player. Can't say I saw that coming. Great work there from Galactic Fear. That is how you respond to your front player being bullied off that forward position. And full share is on. So of course that means somewhere a fairy has succumbed or died to the pain from experimenting with penile inversion. Terrible things happen to fairies when full share is on, but never mind. They are blessed with large populations, the fairy kingdom. But a run by now on the cards, this time from Hal, plunging headlong into what was, of course, Fwipper Paws' territory, and has now been transferred over to M&B. Mize, who was the top scoring player at the time of Fwipper Paws, or at least top scoring player on Team 1's team at the time of Fwipper Paws' ejection, didn't want all of the extra hassle of running that base, didn't want the extra eco either. Just transferred it all over to M&B, but we're seeing now the presence of some T3 on the field from Ember. Nice run in here with Strat Bomber, picking up 5 unit kills with the destruction of that T2 mechs and mass. Another bomb coming in, grabs another 5, so that is a lot of mass immediately taken out of the equation. Will he get a third bomb away? Yes, he does. Bam! This is a fantastic bombing run. 13 kills on this bomber. Still about 2,000 HP on the clock. Another T2 mechs down, so that's 4 so far. A bunch of build capacity getting caught up as collateral damage in that one too. Finally gets dealt with. But Mize taking a huge penalty for his trouble. Now well behind Ember's mass production. Now getting a little bit more of an air fracas going on, this time over towards new player's main base. Lots of interceptors from Team 1 to do a nice job of clearing out the area, and also some ASFs turning up on the field from Mize, so he's also made the transition successfully to T3. I think that's probably going to go pretty badly for Galactic Fear. He's going to lose the rest of those units and secure that position for new player, at least for the moment. HAL 9000, meanwhile, bearing down on M&B's newly acquired facilities. The presence of Elshivers make it impossible for these Mantis to get anywhere with that. More Mantis pouring across the causeway, though. And Andy Rue getting re-established. This could be crucial for Team 2. He needs to get back in there, of course. He lost everything. And despite Team 1 actually losing a player, they are basically ahead because, of course, full share is on. So M&B getting access to all of that extra eco. Suffering pretty badly from power outages at the moment. Needs to get a handle on that ASAP. Hero Elshivers out front for M&B, taking an inordinate amount of Mantis fire. I don't think he's going to be making it home to tell any war stories. But decent presence in the naval game for M&B, and this is peculiar. 14 minutes gone, not a single naval factory laid down by Hal. He's completely neglected it. I mean, I'm guessing it's reactionary because of the death, or at least large destruction, of Andy Rue's base. He's plowed everything into ground attack, but he's basically just gifted M&B the bottom ocean with absolutely no resistance put out from him whatsoever. So I think that could be a little bit dangerous. M&B is the last person on the planet you want to give a free ride to, because he will capitalize. Already he's got a decent amount of frigates up on this coastline with one governor, so once again life is going to become difficult for Andy Rue, trying to set back up shop at the front of Team 2's territory. And this little tactic of switching up into the land game not going so well, because at the moment Team 1, certainly M&B, able to harass pretty freely with T1 bombers, inflicting massive casualties on this band of Mantis. And now we've got more tech coming into the fight as well from M&B. Things really not going too well for Team 2 right now. So we've got a Zooey drop on the way from Galactic Fear, as well as another little drop. Looks like a band of Mantis on that Skyhook from Hal. Probably, hazard a guess, going for the side island of M&B. Be a good choice. Mantis going to land on the mainland. Zooey's going to drop in the water, of course, able to fire up onto the cliff. We want to take down these two mechs on the way to upgrade to T2, but of course the primary target will be knocking out of commission that land factory, hopefully allowing the Mantis to finish it off. However, there are a lot of strikers up here in the top, and I think they're going to be able to pull that one off. Lots of ASFs now on the field for both Mize and Ember. See who's got the better of the ASF count for the moment. 38 interceptors, so that's irrelevant. But 23 ASFs there for Mize, and Ember on 26, so not a great deal in it, but of course those 30 inties will make the difference in any decent air battle. And of course not to forget M&B up front with a pretty sizable T1 Air Force of his own, and bombers still peppering this poor little group of Mantis, having a very bad time of things in there. And HAL 9000 finally dipping a toe into the naval game, but it's a little bit late. He has got a T2 naval factory, but he's already lost one of his forward T1s up here. These two won't last too long at all. I can't see how he's going to manage to hold on to that HQ. He has got the torpedo upgrade, the nanite torpedo upgrade on that ACU, so he is going to be able to dish out a lot of pain towards those frigates. One destroyer won't be enough to take him down. That is for the moment the only thing that can go after him in this little area. Another destroyer en route, however. And good work from Team 2, knocking M&B off that side island. That little double coordinated drop working nicely, taking just a little bit of eco away from M&B, who does have actually a lot of eco up front, but he's not running away with it at all. He's on 167, new players on 187, Ember 187, Mize 193, Galactic Fear 191, poor old Andy Rue on 23, and Hal on 80, lagging well behind for the moment. And there goes the T2 naval factory. So it's looking a little bit late for Hal to get involved in the naval game now. He will probably find himself shut out. We've got build capacity coming in to try and help Hal defend, but that's just getting picked off one by one because of all of the frigates in the area. These thunderheads, very few units better at blapping away engineers than frigates. One at a time, single file. One shot per engineer. Hal determined to stick it out with his ACU, but he's not going to be able to take ships down faster than M&B can build them, or at least I'd be surprised if he manages it. And now Hal's also losing core mexes thanks to the presence of governors sitting inside this bulwark shield. Hal moving his commander inside that. He's also going to get involved with a bit of reclaiming to help speed up the dismantling process of this UEF fleet. We wanted to get rid of those governors as soon as humanly possible. Take the pressure off his land facilities. Andy Rue looking reasonably set up now, and as soon as I said, of course, he moves his ACU away from the front line. At least he's got something going on here, a little bit of eco. Plenty of time to get back into the game, but M&B breaking into Hal's base now. Zui's disappearing one by one, but Ilshiva's still around to dish out a lot of pain. Hal's looking pretty beaten up now already. And M&B, in the meantime, once again able to reclaim that side island. It's never likely that Team 2 were going to be able to hold it, especially not with all of the naval pressure coming this way. And now it's Andy Rue's new base that's under pressure from M&B. Forward T2 mexes he just can't afford to lose. Taken out there. That's really gonna hurt. One just not wanting to allow him to get back into this one. Large air engagement kicking off over the top of new players' naval facilities. And that looks like a pretty significant win in the air for Team 2. Ember doing better than Mize at the moment. And taking a look at what's on the water, we've got a lot of T1 subs, a lot of Zuis coming out from new player. That's facing off against the hardy group of destroyers from Galactic Fear, who's playing a blinder for his team. He's also getting involved in the air game as well. He's up to T3 now with a bunch of ASFs having to pick off those torpedo bombers coming out from new player. Andy Rue just trying to work out there's any way he can get re-established in this game at all. Still HAL 9000 in the water, trying to pick off units, trying to defend this coastline from the continual governor spam that's coming his way. Team 2 gotta find a way to secure this section though, allow Andy Rue to get back in it and reclaim this portion of the map so he can get an economy going again, because currently he's sitting on 7 mass and HAL 9000 on just 51 mass. So Team 2, despite how well Galactic Fear and Ember are doing, Team 2 lagging behind as a team in total. Well, actually, I don't know about total mass. You know what? Maybe it's not that far apart between the teams in terms of eco. I do grumble about full share, but I cannot deny it can make for longer games. My dispute with it is how fair that I deem it to be. And new player now losing naval factories. This is exactly the result that Team 2 need. They've lost the bottom pond completely. If they can win the top pond and start putting pressure on this forward base, they can allow or stem the tide of units coming across the causeway and allow Andy Rue to get re-established. The presence of these destroyers from Galactic Fear, there just doesn't seem to be anything that's able to deal with them now. Team 1 have been trying to counter with torpedo bombers, but there's too much air cover. Units of build capacity around these naval facilities getting destroyed in large numbers now. A lot of floating flak brought in there by M&B. It's helped to shoo away the Air Force. Might allow Team 1 finally to get some traction over this fleet in the air game. But it's going to be too little too late to save these naval facilities. Down both of them go. Engineers get slaughtered, and now new players base looking like it could be under pressure. M&B is trying to counter with as much amphibious stuff as he can from this central base. Of course, that's going to mean much less stuff coming across the causeway. The age-old fight begins between cruiser and tactical missile defense. Al trying to produce as many zappers in staggered formation as he can to deal with that incoming missile spam. But generally you get stuck in this kind of situation. It's a losing battle. He's lost the pond. He's not going to get back in there. And you can bet M&B isn't going to ease up on cruiser production. Large waves of torpedo bombers focusing in the cruisers there. One pass from those 5 is enough to finish it off. Of course, losing all 5 of those torpedo bombers in the process. Not necessarily a cost-effective way to deal with an issue going after cruisers with torpedo bombers, but can at least buy you time, which is what it seems to be doing for the moment. It's going to help protect the structures further away from the coastline. Give you an idea of how much Galactic Fear can reach with those destroyers. Sort of the closest one to the shoreline now. It's kind of, it can still hit quite a lot though. A lot of room to maneuver there, and lots of T1 land factories from new player being busted out of existence. But look at the assault on the eco from M&B. HAL 9000 down to just 25 mass per tick. He's even eating some cruiser missile fire himself. Doesn't want to lose that T3 mechs. That is absolutely essential. Is he having power issues as well? Yeah, sort of. Teammates keeping him afloat for the moment. Andy Rue setting up shop in the middle. He no doubt would love to pick up some of these mexes, but there's still a large hostile presence around here. We've got a whole group of engineers from M&B recycling everything in view, and a whole unit of Ilshavers able to just march in perfect time and destroy the next band of Mantis to move up from HAL. Hasn't been any more attempts at that side island from Team 2. They've been much more focused up here, but if it's definitive, but it looks like Galactic Fear being shoved away from the coastline, at least for the moment. Massive Zooey spam coming out from new player who's just built outrageous amounts of T1 land factories. How many have we got here? My God. It's full of stars. 37 land factories. That's insane. That's actually revolting. But it's certainly enough to force Galactic Fear away from the coastline, at least temporarily. Doesn't want to bottle up those destroyers, doesn't want to clump them. Of course, this next group of frigates will be much more successful at dealing with all of this T1. And production halted on Zui's as well, so he's changing tack to something. So this reprieve for new player might have been short-lived. We've got Sinithas queuing up back here, so we could have another snipe on the cards, although of course, as we've seen already, just killing an ACU in full share doesn't necessarily help you in any particular way. Definitely not at this level. And now it is Hal's turn to retreat inland. GC very nearly finished from Ember. A little bit of wall art going on here from Andy Rue. Moonlight Slut, or Moonlight Slut. Interesting. I have no idea what that is. Andy Rue, though, of course, is Australian, so it could be a brand of lager, for all I know. Oh, amazing. A new player quits out. Where is he? We'll see from the explosion. He's had enough. ACU gone. Don't know where he was, but definitely looked like it was a disconnect to me. Can be a little bit of a letdown. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he was picked off somewhere. And now Sinithas coming in, bearing down on Mize's base at the back. Mize is quick to respond with his ASF, starts picking off the lead bombers. They're coming straight in for what looks like Mize's ACU. But unsuccessful at breaking through the shield there. Mize looks like he's been preparing against the potential tele-snipe. Is that from Andy Rue? It's going to be Andy Rue or Mize. Oh, sorry, Andy Rue or HAL 9000, sorry, that you would imagine would be going for it. Large air fracas over here at the back. Massive ASF battle. Ember's units clumped. Mize's are spread out. Looks like it could be going better for Mize. Trying to get in now behind Ember's ASFs, and he's obliterated them, and that is bad news for Team 2. Wave of Restorers heading north. More ASFs in production, but that is a tough hit to take. Historically in this game they've been good in the air. NB profiteering from new players' demise, getting control of all of his stuff, but still not exactly running away with the eco gain. 387 mass. 416 income there for Mize, and Galactic Fear on 465, playing like a boss. That is pretty outrageous eco he's got going on there. Looks like we've got a little bit of a mass fab farm going on from Andy Rue, unable to grab any mexes. He's going to be trying to generate his own mass, or at least something to get back involved with the game. Galactic Fear there self-destructing his redundant T1 naval factories for mass and unit cap, no doubt. But look at that. the end of Hal's base completely. How far in can those governors reach? Well, a long old way. All of this now going to be under pressure. What I like about what M&B has done, thanks to, of course, inheriting this forward base, he's not just focused everything on the Navy, but he's still got control of the mouth of the causeway here on Team 2's side of things, so he's continually funneling ground forces down here, and that's not often what you see on a Seton's game. Very often it comes down to the navies and then the air fights. Don't often see continual streams of ground forces coming down, but he was presented with an opportunity, so he's made use of it. More strat bombers on the way. Shockers there from Ember. But this is definitely not looking good for Team 2. Two of their players evicted from their homelands. Galactic Fear needs to finish off everything here and quickly. Now we've got some Seraphim battleships moving in as well. Andy Rue actually popping up a few naval facilities as far forward. A lot of build capacity he's producing from them as well. I wonder if we'll see the construction of a little proxy base coming up there from him. That would add a little bit of variation and depth to this game. And indeed it was Moonlight. There's the extra added on T.
Strategic launch detected.
And there we go. Our first nuke of the game from M&B over here at the cliffs. And he's actually gone dual nuke launcher. That second one more recently produced, only about 15-20% the way through its first missile. The question is there any strategic defense? I think I saw the icon down here. That's going to be catastrophic for Team 2 if that connects, and I think it might just do that. Nothing so far, and that is going to be a ton of build capacity, a ton of power. Ouch, baby. Very ouch. Actually not the best placed nuke. That power grid survives. Had it been a little bit further south, he still could have hit pretty much all of that mass, but crucially he would have taken out all the power, and of course the power is what an air player is going to need the most, especially at this game. He's going to be able to get his mass from all the other mexes around here, but you have a large clumped power grid like that. That would have been a larger draw, at least for me. But not to worry, things going okay, at least for the moment, for Team 1, despite the fact that it's 2 versus 4. Now with the emergence, the arrival of these battleships, there's no way B's going to be able to defend this. Previously, been throwing up TMD, of course, to slow the assault, slow the bombardment down, but he's going to have to yield that position. Hal completing his RAS, so it's at least going to be some resources there for him. What is Andy Rue playing at? Mass hives going down at the edge of the pond here in the middle. Hal getting another upgrade on his comm. These are both Cyber and comms, remember, so telemaser comms definitely an option. Another nuke launcher on the way for M&B. And what is that? That's a Paragon, baby. So, Mize queuing up the construction of a game ender here with this single solitary engineer. surprised if it gets finished, but if it does, that would really, really nail the lid shut on this game. Surely, it's a long way to go. Very rare that you would see one completed, especially in a game with players of this rank. Mass aircraft carrier coming out now from Galactic Fear. It's going to give him enormous air production capabilities as well as the bombardment capabilities of the cruisers, but redundant units getting control K'd there. Andy Rue could do with the mass, no doubt, and of course no need for all those frigates and subs just taking up unit cap. How's Andy Rue been doing on the reclaim side of things? 61,000 banked so far for Andy Rue, 10,000 for Hal, 55 for M&B. Ember is on 10, 20,000 for Galactic Fear, and Mize on 33. So Andy Rue's been doing a pretty phenomenal job of nicking mass from where he can. He's like the cybering equivalent of a scrap man who comes to your house and nicks stuff. Andy Rue actually up front with a handful of loyalists. I don't think he's going to try and grab any of this territory, though. He would not be able to hold on to it with that fleet in that situation. But a second nuke out from M&B. Where is it going is the question. Trajectory looks consistent potentially with this section in here. And still no nuke defense in place. Andy Rue moving his comm just to be safe. There he goes. He's gone for a couple of T3 mexes and a T2. Ember taking a pretty significant mass hit. Down to 150 mass from around the 300s from before the first nuke. That is a pretty painful thing. He's still not set up back in here either. It's going straight for T3 mexes, it would seem, but that is a painful situation. Of course, got a pretty decent amount of ASFs on the field for the moment. A bunch of strats coming in from back here, but look at this tandem arse washers. There's an image for you. Tandem experimental bombers out for Galactic Fear. That was very sneaky of him, circling overhead. They haven't dropped any bombs as yet, both of them on 0 kills. You want to see what he can do with that. It's going to be tough, though. Look how many ASFs Mize has got. They can do with provoking an airfight, first of all. 254 ASFs on the field for Mize, comparing to 114 for Ember. Galactic Fear's got quite a few of his own, to be fair. He's got about 50. You've got to make it count because it's a large mass gift. If you can't, somehow they've got to try and deal with this Air Force.
Strategic launch detected.
Personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable about using those two until I was in a situation where I could really hurt them. Another nuke out from M&B, and this time it's going for the side island right the way over here. 5 T3 mexes potentially out of commission there for Galactic Fear. And a ton of build capacities migrated across the sea here from Mize and M&B. Already got some naval factories thrown up at the front there, busy producing engineers. Looking all very pristine and clean around here. The remnants of the previous battles have been cleared away. All that mass has gone into Team 1's coffers. 2 GCs on the move for Ember, heading north across the causeway. It's going to take them a long while to get anywhere dangerous, and every single structure bar one mass storage is destroyed on that island, knocking Galactic Fear down a notch on the eco side of things. 380 odd. Mass fab farms under construction in quite a big way. Andy Rue up to around 77 mass per tick, pretty much solely off generated mass. I don't think he's got, well, pretty much any mexes anywhere. But look at this. The invasion is underway. Andy Rue out there to make a nuisance of himself, building T1 factories and then Zooies en masse. It'd be hard to do anything though with that, with the horde of the restorers here waiting. So much is going to come down to this conflict. The 2 experimental bombers are up here. This is going to be absolutely crucial. Ember coming in now with strap bombers going straight after M&B's base. Mai's trying to work out what to go for first. Ideally for him, would love to force an engagement over the top of one of these bases and get the anti-air fire involved as well. Galactic Fear needs to be ready with his ASFs. Ember's going to need them because he's going to lose horribly against these odds, especially with all these Transcenders, these T3 SAMs waiting in the wings. Experimental bombers still well out of the picture up here, but I think this is going to go horribly for Team 2. Ember going to get slaughtered once again. He's coming across with the restorers, and they've drastically overestimated how well they were doing in the air game. Team 1 so far ahead. Galactic Fear decides to use his experimental bombers, even though that air fight went so badly. He needs to drop those bombs. He's got a couple away. He's not going to get a second pass with them. They're both going to get taken out. And there they go. Mass present in friendly territory for minimal impacted damage, if anything. I don't think anything was taken out. That is a brutal turn of events for Galactic Fear and Team 2. Strange game this though. Just take a look at the territory divided up map control wise. It's looking like 55% in favor of Team 1. How long that persists, I don't know, but that was a huge blow to Team 2, losing that air fight and then losing those 2 experimental bombers, and now build capacity flocking round those wrecks like locusts. It's almost repugnant. Like a horde of girls at a Justin Bieber concert, just waiting for him to spit on them. Disgusting engineers. Oh, but what are our 2 heroes doing down here? Something. They're doing a little bit of assist work on some upgrades, and for me that could only mean one thing. I can take the factional team colors off. We have a teleport on the way. Not yet. We do have a microwave laser generator though, so Andy Rue looking to go for a little bit of tele-sniping goodness. 41 minutes gone in this game so far. And we've got a Tsar under construction as well from Ember. Still not quite recovered from those 2 nukes. He's got his core mexes back up to T3 and in place, but that second nuke side over here still not gone for anything. And this is an example here of SOCOM fatigue. He's got build capacity as far as the eye can see, and not one of them has been assigned to pick up some of these mexes. Those Australians. Funny people. So, what have we got? We got the teleport. We have got the teleport. There it is. Is he going for the microwave accelerator, having taken down that engineering suite which he had previously? Yeah, there it is. So surely we can expect a tele-snipe, if not, or attempt, if not now, then sometime soon. But what's going on here? Teleporting support commander from Mize, going straight off to the strategic missile defense, but failing. It survives on 700 hit points, or 650 at the time. Galactic Fear hit to the shit, building a whole line of T1 PD, well aware of the potential threat because of all of the nuke span coming out of M&B. Absolutely vital for him to protect those SMDs. Another one back here. Hasn't got any missiles in it as yet. Another one back here as well. So Galactic Fear in full protectionist mode after seeing what's happened to Ember. And Ember still doesn't look like he's gone to defend himself at all. It can be a real blow to your mind getting beaten down like that with a nuke. But Andy Roo turns up right in front of Mize's base. For some reason his main laser doesn't seem to be firing. Not sure what's going on there. Fire laser, there it goes. A line of it goes straight through, taking down some build capacity. The shields go back online. Immediately Continentals are brought back in, but Andy Roo safely teleports back out before Mize can get in there with those restorers. So looked like a little bit of a glitch there. Mize probably should have died. Andy Roo's main laser failing to ignite. Dodgy Cybran technology, you see. Can't rely on it.
Strategic launch detected.
In the Cybran nation, laser shoots you. Another nuke out from M&B. Doing the UEF nation proud. Once again, heading over to what looks like Ember's territory. He's suffered pretty badly at the hands of M&B's nuclear arsenal. The whole area of the map down here is glowing green. It's about to be irradiated once again. What are we talking about in terms of kills from these nuke launchers? This one down here, it's 284 for that puppy. 18 for that one. Where is he going? And Andy Roo, where did he teleport to? That's the question. I keep an eye on him because he's safe for the moment. Well, he's way out here, underwater. Boom, baby, and finally the power grid does go down from Ember. Was previously on 25k, goes down to just 11. That's an enormous hit to the eco, and then now down to 10. Painful, painful stuff. I apologize in advance if I miss any of the ACU deaths, but it's so hard to keep up with teleporting ACU snipes.
Strategic launch detected.
Especially when they survive the first one, and you know they can happen again at any time. Another nuke out from M&B, and this time it's going for the line of T1 static anti-air. It's probably going to take a whole bunch of Galactic Fear's destroyers with it. Question is he going to move in time? Potentially a couple of Andy Roo's forward naval yards are going to get caught in this one as well. Kaflooey. Nice nuke there from M&B. GCs have finally emerged. They've been sitting underwater for a while now, but there's just so many restorers in the area. They're not going to get anything done at all. M&B also waiting with a GC of his own. First GC down, second GC down, yet more mass in reclaim potentially on the doorstep for Team 1, although I don't know how easy that's going to be able to get. Galactic Fear's fleet still very easily in range. How is that Paragon going? Well, they've done a pretty good job. Look at the amount of units they've thrown onto it. M&B assisting it in a big way, and that's why you haven't seen a lot of unit spam coming out of these guys, because they're building a frickin' game ender. 3,400 hit points and climbing out of 5,000. It's not a million miles away from hitting 75% and going in the green. And look at the amount of plasma cannons. T1 PD surrounding this, terribly afraid of a potential ACU tele-snipe. As well they should be. Andy Roo has got very little to lose. He and Hal could drop in at any moment and assassinate that, so it's going to be immensely difficult to defend. And once again, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, another perfect example of why the main FAF mod needs a teleport inhibitor. Everything should have its counter in SOPCOM, and there is no counter to the teleport. If someone is committed enough and doesn't care for the suicide aspect of things, they can get in and grab almost anything. But in comes the Tsar from Galactic Fear. Mize engages with all of his aircraft, and the computer sim speed crawls to a slow. And there goes the Tsar. Is it going to land on top of the power grid? I think it's going to be just short. Oh, man. Mize survives. And not only that, gets a large UFO-shaped mass gift right in the center of his base. And this has been killer for Team 2, losing a couple of airfights consecutively and never being able to get back on top. You see, after that teleporting support commander assassination attempt from earlier, we've got reps on this SMD now. We've got wall sections. I'm not sure how much that is going to help it. Profile of that SMD far too high. I don't think those wall sections are going to afford it that much cover. Look at all the mass fab farms being thrown together by Andy Roo. He's not stopping. He's broken 100 mass. To be fair, that's pretty good going. He has got these mass points up here. Hasn't bothered to go to T3. I don't blame him. Chances of holding on to those very minimal indeed. I think, to be honest, Mize could take these at any time if he were to bring his restorers in. There's just not enough on the field from Team 2 in the air game to threaten him. And funnily enough, we've also got an incursion down here at the bottom right from M&B. He's picked up these bottom mexes as well. Andy Roo just sitting there with loyalists, could finish that off at any time. What? What did I miss? What did I miss? I missed something. It's okay, it was a support commander. Again, I wish they'd changed the sound effect so it doesn't sound like an ACU exploding. But once again, that SMD survives. But look at what we've got here. Very cheeky. That must have been a support commander teleport. He's got in there and he's built a whole load of torpedo launchers. Andy Rue's ACU down here perhaps was located in there temporarily, was forced to vacate the area. I like that. Very, very cheeky, though of course a handful of gunships can finish those off now. Very peculiar game. Andy Rue finally moving in down here to finish off the units here. Cliff edge. Have back these mexes for his team.
Strategic launch detected.
T2 mexes would go a long way for him or Hal. Another nuke out for M&B, and once again going for the side island for Galactic Fear. 4 T3 mexes, only recently rebuilt, and now are gonna go pop. Very painful indeed. And Galactic Fear's fleet looks a lot thinner. He must have self-destructed quite a bit. No doubt giving yet more mass to Andy Rue, who's up to around 78,000 in reclaim. Not currently expending a great deal of mass either. Whoa, but hello, a Mavor on the way as well. Does that mean they finished? They did finish, and it's actually M&B who's got it. So Mize has given M&B the Paragon to allow him to work on the Mavors. He's got 2 of them queued up. He has a ton of rover stations. The kennels, they're upgraded ones as well. That nuke does indeed connect, taking out those mexes once again. Galactic Fear, though, looking pretty healthy on 450. But look at that. That's a rare snippet. You don't see that, or you didn't used to see that before. This wonderful inclusion of the eco table in the score panel up here from Zepp. That hit 4.9k. That's how much that Paragon was bringing in there for M&B. 4.9k on the Mayfor. And there it is. The enormous penis of doom. That's a beautiful thing. It is such a shame it's so incredibly difficult to build, because there are few things more satisfying on this planet than seeing one of those things wind up, crank up, and let loose. And now Team 2 are really in trouble. 50 minutes gone in this game. Team 1 have a Paragon in play. They've got 1 Mavor online, a second due to go online any second. Look at it, they're just flying up. M&B looking, sitting pretty, can spam these up as much as he wants.
Strategic launch detected.
And now no amount of SMD is gonna save Galactic Fear. Faces a whole new problem. And look at that, 1 shell incoming, 4 T3 shield gens, all taken down to around 40%. Another explosion. I don't know exactly what that was. That was a support commander of some kind. Not sure why that went up. M&B electing to hit Andy Rue's last remaining base of operations up here. His little eco nest, that's going to go down. But Mavor shells flying across the map now from M&B. 2 online, a third flying together. That is a beautiful sight. 5.6k mass. M&B sucking from that Paragon now. They have a Mavor, Hal. Yes, indeed. They have a frickin' Mavor. And of course, those SMDs, the primary targets. But nukes go on. Andy Rue teleports teleports into the center. I told you I was going to miss it, and I did. It's impossible to know when they're going for it. What's he gone for, though? He might have gone for the SMD for Mize, and we've got a ton of battleship-based nukes coming out from Galactic Fear, and they're going to hit the Paragon. The Paragon goes down and land in the center of Mize's base. I can't believe it. Has he got Mize? Yes, he's got Mize. What a freaking huge turnaround. M&B, unfortunately for Team 2, finishes the third Mavor and gets another one nearly complete, but that production will now be halted. He cannot sustain that without the Paragon. The nuclear fusion reaction has begun at the back here of Team 1's territory. Mize being absolutely pounded, and the good thing for Team 2 is they've taken a lot of Mize's stuff with them. So, of course, all of the remaining structures being transferred over to M&B. But crucially, a lot of the mass has gone down. Now, what, if anything, can the remnants of Team 2 do? Andy Roo is out. He sacrificed himself to take the SMD down. So annoyed I missed it. I knew I was going to. It's virtually impossible to keep up with it, but Mavor shells raining down now from M&B. Galactic Fear benefits from the mass fab farms, but I doubt he's going to hold on to them for long. No protection can be sought from this bombardment. The only option they've got now really is to snipe these. They need to get some strap bombers in or something and take that out. How are we doing on anti-nuke for M&B? Because, of course, that was a lot of sea-based nukes that came out from Galactic Fear. He's been building them for a while, so we've got one anti-nuke down here. That's got 2 in the clip. Might be potentially the only one he's got. No, there's another one up here. That's got 1. And another one over here that's just been completed. M&B, though, has that personal shield. He's going to be tough to snipe. Another nuke out from him. Where's it heading? It's going cross-map. Does that mean he believes he's taken out all of Galactic Fear's anti-nuke in the vicinity? I think it means he must have. That one there is out of commission, certainly. HAL 9000 has gone for a tele-snipe as well. He must have taken an SMD down. That was the one with 2 in it from down here. It's cost him his life, but he wasn't doing much use or much of anything, really, to be fair. I don't think he'd begrudge me saying that. He does have a second one. That one up here is just about to grab a second anti-nuke. There it is. And M&B going mass anti-nuke now, sensing the danger. This would be a phenomenal comeback if Team 2 could pull this off. But if they're going to do something, they need to do it quickly. And that nuke did get shot down. All of those mexes are in play, and I don't think it's going to matter, honestly. There's nothing he can do about it. Indeed, they're all wondering how he's got multiple Mavors up so quickly. Well, it is the mass NG stations that have done it. And of course, M&B has inherited a colossal air wing from Mize. 443 ASFs, and different to the old SOPCOM games, he's not limited by one person's unit cap. In FAF, in these team games, you inherit the unit cap of your teammates once they die, so you're at least allowed to build and control the right amount of units. It was kind of ridiculous the way it used to be set up, but just one anti-nuke, I think, remains in the main base for Galactic Fear.
Detected.
Nuke already launched M&B confident he's done enough, and indeed he should be. In comes that final shell and knocks it out long before the connection from that nuke. Phenomenal work from M&B throughout this game. But how great, though, to see a Paragon and 3 Mavors spring up in this one. He's still got some rovers on that final one. To be honest, I think he might as well just reclaim that. That's pointless. He doesn't need it. Reclaim it, use the mass to strengthen and burrow in hard. You don't need to do anything else now. Just protect these Mavors. It's frightening me for him a little bit that he hasn't built any more shields around them. Nuke connects at the back. Doesn't take out a lot. He wants to think about taking down these old mass fab farms of Andy Rue, although they're out of commission for the moment. All paused up there at the back. Huge strap bomber wing takes off from these aircraft carriers. This would surely be a choice place for a nuke as well from M&B. Question is, can they get close enough? If only these were Cybran aircraft carriers and therefore Cybran strats, Revenants, they'd be able to get in there with their stealth and at least take 1 or 2 of the Mavors down. But in comes M&B, having seen and recognized the threat. He's going to take an awful lot of fire from the aircraft carriers, but with so many ASFs, he can afford to lose a few. He was on around 450, and now he's down to around 416. Still not really a problem. Could afford to maybe even sacrifice these restorers by just going after the aircraft carriers, and then he really wouldn't have anything left to worry about. Andy Rue still chatting in game. Apparently someone else will be casting this as well. Reminds me of a game I played versus Gyle 4 years ago. So that is how rare these games are, this kind of level, when you see game enders completed en masse. M&B not wanting to commit, has got in, picked off a couple of aircraft carriers. Wanting to commit, he loses a lot of restorers in the process. Effective Aeon engineering there, laser stuck on. That's what happens when you spend the whole time trying to find your way and praying to the Seraphim. Forget to turn your lasers off. The Tsar ended up at the sea. I didn't even see that one. I don't even know when that got taken out. That is an example. I know I've missed quite a few things in this game, but that is an example of just how much has gone on in the course of this one. And Team 2 just getting riddled with Mavor shells now. Small nuclear power detonations popping up all over this side of the map. Ouch. Afford to bump this to +2 now. I think it's safe to say that there's more or less nothing they can do. And finally, Ember recognizes the issues, got some shields in place. Only T2, but it's better than nothing. Waves of spy planes now coming out from NMB.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke out. Where's he going with it?
Strategic launch detected.
It's coming across the map, going straight for the core mexes there of Galactic Fear. Second nuke out as well. And that's going to go for a little canyon here that leads into the ocean. Galactic Fear is going to bear the brunt of the assaults now. Ember's got very little left. And forward nuke actually getting intercepted. So core mechs protected. Canyon wasn't so lucky. Near support commanders going pop somewhere.
Strategic launch detected.
And now Galactic Fear is going for it. Could that have been another tele-snipe for SMD? It's not going to matter. There's so much SMD in here. There's no way they're getting through. And now MMB switches up to unit offensive mode and starts producing mass strap bombers. And remaining eco for Ember and Galactic Fear will surely be purged. There is absolutely nothing that Team 2 can do from this point, I don't think. M&B on 760 mass per tick. That is disgusting amounts of mass. Passing the 1 hour mark, so officially making this an epic. Whole bunches of T3 engineers, clumps getting annihilated. Gives you an idea of the rain of hell death that is falling on Team 2's lands. We have got another GC moving in from Ember, but it's not going to get past a countering GC and a whole wave of restorers. Team 2 just throwing what's left in their ever-depleting arsenal at M&B, but there's nothing really that can be had or gained from this now. Ember down to below 100 mass.
Detected.
Galactic Fear on 33, but that's because he's bottlenecking power hard. His power grid's taken a massive hit. A whole wave of Volthus up here at the back. Surely they were just looking for some way in to deal with the Mavors. I can't believe it. Fwipper has stayed in for 50 minutes in this game. I mean, he went out at about the, what was it, the 13-minute mark? Something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's now 1 hour, 2 minutes into this one, and he's still here. That is a testament to how unusual this game has been for a Setons. And finally, M&B manages to eradicate the core mechs, Galactic Fears, taking it out of commission once and for all. Team 2 well and truly muted. Cannot contend with the power of the Mavor. All building has ceased on the 4th. M&B correctly realizes he doesn't need it. And now the strap bombers move on elsewhere. Ember leaves the game. His ACU was all the way up here, but he surrenders. All that's left now is Galactic Fear, wherever he might be. Look at all of the units.
Strategic launch detected.
The signs that people have been putting up and moving off the side. There is a way to kill those. Obviously, they didn't know how to do it. I always forget as well. So the easiest way is to just drag it off map. so it doesn't bother your teammates, all the notifications, but incredibly amusing. Let's have a look at where Galactic War is keeping his comm. There he is. He's right in the center. There's surely nothing he can do at this point. Can knock this up to +2. More nukes inbound, maybe even +3.
Strategic launch detected.
Kabam! It has to be said, the UEF nuke is by far and away the best looking nuke. The shockwave is just far too cool. Ah, nicely planted nuke right in the center of Galactic Fear's units. And I think his ACU might have been there as well, or was he actually picked off? So it was a large air fracker. He might have been moving it in there. I think he was picked off in the explosion. But man, that was an entertaining game. 3 main wars at a Paragon. You just don't see that often. 1 hour, 4 minutes. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. There's always more to come from me in the future. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.